Now we are coming to the next function of the RBI, that RBI acts as a banker to the governments. Okay, banker to both the central and the state governments. And which are the important functions provided by the RBI as a banker to the central and state governments? There are various types of banking functions, okay, provided by the RBI to the governments, which are: first, maintaining accounts of the governments. That means the governments they are keeping accounts with the RBI, okay, by handling their day-to-day banking transactions. Similarly, the RBI is holding custody of the cash balance of the governments. It is giving temporary loans to the governments, okay, whenever the governments, both central and states, are facing some shortages, okay, of cash, the RBI will be giving funds to the governments in the form of what? WMA, ways and means advances, OD or overdraft. And the RBI issue, and besides it manages the government borrowing, okay, it is the issuer and manager of the government borrowings, or what we can say, public debt. Okay, now we are going to see the legislation that empowers RBI to become the banker to the governments. The RBI Act 1934 powers the central government to entrust the RBI with all its money remittance, exchange and banking transactions in India and the management of its public debt. So the RBI Act itself gives powers to the central government so that the government can entrust certain functions, services to the RBI, okay, and it is obligatory for the RBI to be banker to the central government. So it is obligatory by legislation for the RBI to become or to give function as the banker to the government. The Department of Government and Bank Accounts, DGBA, discharges to the core central banking functions of acting as a banker to the government. And we are seeing the banking operations provided by the RBI to the government. The central and state governments have to maintain minimum cash balance for the RBI. So that is first condition. Both the central and the state have to maintain a minimum cash balance. For the central government, the minimum cash balance stipulated 10 crores on a daily basis and rupees 100 crores on Fridays, March 31st as well. Okay, and for states, the minimum cash balance is to be maintained daily basis, and it varies from state to state. Okay, so we are saying that in the same way, the government deposits its cash balance with the RBI. Since RBI manages the government finances, the government keeps its cash balances deposited to the Reserve Bank. RBI as a portfolio manager invests the surplus cash balance of the governments. Okay, and the government's banking activities are managed by Public Accounts Department of the Reserve Bank through various offices and branches. Okay, and we are seeing more responsibilities for RBI as a banker to the government. As a banker to the government, RBI, the Reserve Bank, receives and pays money on behalf of the various government departments. The Reserve Bank appoints other banks to act as agents. This is important. Agency banks, okay, for undertaking the banking business on behalf of the government. So on behalf of the government, these agency banks have to do some activities. The RBI pays agency bank charges to the banks for undertaking government business on its behalf. The Reserve Bank acts as advisor to government on monetary and banking matters. Okay, on monetary and banking matters, the RBI is an advisor to the government. And now, RBI as a banker to the government, ministries. Each ministry department of the central government has been allotted a specific public sector bank for handling its transaction. So that is another support provided by the government, rather provided by the RBI to the government. The Reserve Bank handle government's day-to-day transactions, or it has been nominated as bank at a particular ministry or a department. Okay, so that are the various services provided by the RBI to the government. And here is one more point, that is the MSS. Okay, Market Stabilization Scheme account. For the time being, we are not explaining in detail about the MSS accounts. Okay, so Market Stabilization Scheme as a package under RBI to withdraw excess money from the market. So as part of that, there is understanding between RBI and the governments. Okay, so central government, so as part of that, an account has to be kept by the government. In 2004, the market stabilization scheme was introduced for absorbing excess liquidity, T-bills, data securities, etc. The Reserve Bank maintains a separate MSS cash balance under a sequestrated account, which is part of the Consolidated Fund of India. So we are not going in details about this particular account, MSS account, because only we can understand these things only once we understand what is there inside MSS. So the money withdrawn, excess money withdrawn from the economy, is kept under MSS account. That should not be spent by the government. Okay, so for the time being, that much only you understand. We will see the details later. Okay, so there is an account called a sequestrated account. So money from that account cannot be withdrawn by the government, or government cannot spend that money. So that is a peculiarity of the MSS accounts. For the time being, MSS activities are not that much in big size, so it may not be that much important for the examination point of view. Just we are giving an information to you. And now we are going to see what are the services provided by the RBI as a banker to the state governments. The RBI can transact the banking business of state government through an agreement with the respective state governments. Okay, currently the Reserve Bank acts as a banker to all the state governments in India except for the government of Sikkim. Okay, so that is very important from the prelim point of view itself. This type of factual knowledge information are very vital. So remember, the RBI act as a banker to all state governments except the state government of Sikkim. And for Sikkim, there is a limited agreement. Of course, for management of its public debt under the RBI Act, which empowers RBI to appoint agency banks, okay, for conduct of government business. The principal account of all state governments except Sikkim is maintained at CAS, Nagpur, under the account title Government Deposit Account State. Okay. And now we are seeing how the RBI is assisting states for public debt management. We know that state governments are borrowing heavily. Even though there are restrictions, the state governments are doing a lot of expenditure, especially in the context of the COVID crisis. The states are demanding that their borrowing limit should be increased. Okay, so on behalf of the states, it is the RBI who is conducting the borrowing operations of the state governments. We are seeing that. Okay, RBI has entered into agreements with the 29 state governments and 1 union territory, Puducherry, for management of their public debt. Okay, the RBI has limited agreements for the management of public debt regarding the state of Sikkim. Currently, SDL auctions. SDL means state development loans. We are considering this point for the first time. What is state development loans? It is some type of a bond or a debt instrument issued by state government. Okay, owned by state government, it will be issued by the RBI in the market through auctions. The process is different. Auction is done on the in terms of what interest rate. Okay, so it is the same. The procedure is same that of what central government securities. So when the state government would like to borrow from the market, the state government will be issuing state development loan certificate, and this state development loan certificate are auctioned or issued by the RBI on behalf of the state governments. Okay, on behalf of the state government. So that is a way in which RBI assists state government for its debt management. Okay, so currently SDL auctions are held in the RBI's eCuber platform. What is eCuber? eCuber is core banking solution of the RBI. Okay, through the eCuber platform, the securities of the state governments are auctioned by the RBI in the same way as that of central government securities. The same procedure is repeated or adopted in the case of central government securities as well. And state government cannot issue treasury bill. That is very important. You have to note that point. Rather, the state government cannot issue treasury bills. Okay, they can issue bonds, which is known as state development loans. They cannot issue what? Treasury bills. Treasury bills can be issued only by whom? Only by the central government. Okay, so treasury bills will have different maturity. 91, you multiply it 182, then again 364. So these are debt instruments which have a maturity of less than 1 year. So state governments cannot issue treasury bills. And now we are going to see the procedures for loans by states. So to avail loan, what procedures should be followed by the state governments? Okay, the state government has to obtain permission of the central government. Okay, under Article 293. Article 293. Okay, for any borrowing as long as there is any outstanding loan that the state government may have from the center. Okay, one point is important, that the state government has to get permission for the central government. Okay, market borrowing are raised by the RBI on behalf of the state government. States should get the consent of the finance ministry to issue debt instruments, and finance ministry usually gives permission. There is automatic permission to borrow funds for the state government up to a limit. Up to a limit means, for example, up to the fiscal deficit size of 3%. Okay, for the state government, state GDP. Okay, more than that, there are more strict conditions and permissions from the center. Okay, the state government can borrow up to 3%, around, that is the present condition. The condition may change, up to 3% of their state GDP. Okay, if their fiscal deficit should not cross 3%. That was the condition put forward by the 14th Finance Commission. The new conditions will come out. So remember, the state governments should obtain the permission of the center to get loans or to make borrowing. Article 293 provides the guidelines for central approval of state borrowing. States borrowing was subjected to their fiscal conditions. At present, state can borrow up to 3% of their fiscal deficit limit. 3% of their state gross domestic products. Okay, but additional limit can be permitted subject to certain conditions. If the states are aiming to borrow more, there is again conditions are different. Okay, you need permission from the central government. States are required to obtain quarterly consent from the center for raising open market borrowings. Open market borrowings, remember, open market borrowings within the net borrowing ceiling fixed for each one according to the formula prescribed by the Finance Commission. Okay, the present Finance Commission, the 15th Finance Commission, is said to make a detailed proposal for the borrowing plan for the state governments. So from the examination angle, you have to understand that for state governments to make borrowing, it has to get the consent of the finance ministry. Okay, and up to a limit, finance ministry automatically by default gives a permission, but when the state government's borrowing is over that limit, special permissions are needed. Now we are going to see how the RBI manages public debt on behalf of the governments. The Reserve Bank of India is the debt manager to central government and state governments in India, and limited scale for the state of Sikkim. The Reserve Bank also mobilizes and manages them on behalf of the governments. Mobilizes means mobilizes loans, and manage loans. As a COVID response step, the RBI decided to increase the ways and means advances limit for state government. Remember, ways and WMA. Okay, it will be called as WMA. The WMA limit. WMA is rather a short-term loan provided by the RBI to central as well as the state government. So as a COVID response step, because the states they badly need money, they lack resources or tax revenue, so states are demanding more borrowing. Here RBI decided to increase the ways and means advances and the limit for state governments and union territories by 30% till September 30. So that is, we are providing just an example how the RBI is supporting the public debt management of the state governments. Internal Debt Management Department of the RBI manage the domestic debt of the central government, okay, and that of the 29 state governments and union territory, which are in accordance with the bilateral agreement provided in section 21 of the Act. Okay, so that is there regarding the debt management. The RBI Act prescribes the various norms. Okay, and now the RBI's debt management policy. What is the purpose of that policy? Objective of that policy. The objective is to minimize the cost of borrowing. Okay, minimize the cost of borrowing. If the borrowing cost is high, the government has to give higher rate of interest. The purpose of RBI's debt management for the central and state government is that both the government should have only low level of cost, minimize the cost of borrowing. That means interest cost. Okay, so whenever the government is borrowing, it will be issuing bonds, and bonds will have interest, And interest, in another term you can call it as yield, yield. So it is a technical name. We are not explaining it right now, okay, because we need almost an hour to see what is yield, how it is working, and how different it is for government securities and other securities, etc. So we are, for the timing, you understand yield is equal to rate of interest, okay, we are from a simple angle, okay. So minimizing cost of borrowing, reducing the rollover risk. That means this month's borrowing is very high, next month's borrowing is also very high, that is, there will be rollover risk. Similarly, the sunrise borrowing order and the states also are crowding into the market for borrowing, so there will be a rollover risk, and smoothening the maturity structure of debt. Smoothening the maturity structure means maturity structure 5 year, 2 year, less than 1 year, 15 year, like that, so the maturity structure should be refined so that debt burden will be less. Improving depth and liquidity of the government securities market by developing an active secondary market. You may have heard about operation twist. Or the RBI bought long-term government securities and sold short-term government securities. So we are not going to, just I am reminding a point, operation twist made by RBI, and here improving the depth and liquidity of the government securities. Depth means the market should be deep, so that when the market is deep, its meaning is that government can sell large number of securities, it can issue huge amount of bonds, and it can thus make high level of borrowing. So that's the meaning of depth. When the market is deep, more and more bonds can be sold. And liquidity means whenever the government is selling the bonds or buying the bond, there will be a market situation which gives immediate money to the government, okay. So liquidity means marketability also, in this respect, liquidity means the government is able to quickly market it, and when bonds are sold, money is quickly mobilized. So the government securities market should be liquid, by developing active secondary market. Active secondary market means when the government is directly selling these securities to primary dealers, a type of institution who are dealing with the government securities are known as primary dealers. Okay, the institutions which are dealing with the government securities, okay, they get directly government securities from the auction market, okay. So these primary dealers will be selling it in another market, secondary market, in stock market, etc. So that market should be developed, then only people will buy and sell government securities. And now we are going to see the concept of government securities. Government security is a tradable instrument, okay. This definition will be quite broad, but there is no other option for us. We will see what is government security. Government security, or a GSEC, is a tradable instrument issued by the central government or state governments. It is debt owned by the governments, okay, debt owned by the government. Government securities have several features, okay. We are quickly pointing out the important features. First is that there is high level of 100% liquidity. Liquidity means whenever you are selling a government security in the market, you will get immediately back your money. That's called liquidity. Zero income default. What is its meaning? First is liquidity, second is zero income default, means the government will never fail. So you need not fear that the money will not be getting back. So money definitely will be paid back. There is zero income default. Individual and companies may default for their payment, but the government is the almighty, the sovereign entity. It will definitely give you back the money. So there is zero income default. And there is, what we can say, the third feature, there is high rate of interest. Not high, but attractive rate of interest. Not high, attractive rate of interest, okay. So for government securities or bonds, there is an attractive rate of interest. So these are the three important features of government securities. So government securities are called gilt-edged securities. Gilt-edged securities. C is missing there, okay. gilt-edged securities. Why the government securities are called gilt-edged securities? Because they have these three attractions. Okay, gilt means shining. Okay, and such securities are short-term. Treasury bill is one with original maturity less than 1 year. We saw that 91, 182 and 364. Okay, less than what? Less than 365 days, less than 1 year. So there is cash management, and similarly there is also cash management bills, bills issued, and long time bills called government bonds or dated securities. Okay, with original maturity of 1 year or more. This maturity may be on an average 5 year or more. 5 year dated bond, okay, or 10 year bond dated bond, 50 year bond, 20 year bond, or bond doesn't have any maturity timeline. They are called perpetuities. We are for the time being we are not going to such details. Just understand that government securities are these types. The central government issues both treasury bills and bonds or dated securities, while state governments issue only bonds or dated securities, which are called state development bonds. And remember, state governments cannot issue what treasury bills. And now we are going to see another side of the RB government interface. The RB issues securities on behalf of the government. The securities are whose securities? The government securities. Who issues that? The RB issues that. The RB issues government central securities, cash management bill, treasury bills, debt securities on behalf of the government. Okay, we will see in detail about the cash management bill later. Okay, not now. Okay, so it is bill issued to get money for a period of less than 90 days. Less than 90 days. Less than should be there. Less than 90 days. Okay, those bills are called cash managements, not regularly issued by the government, because 90 days is very less. Treasury bills less than 365 days. Okay, dated securities, long time bonds, of course. And GSECs are issued through auctions conducted by RB. Remember, they are issued by the RB through auctions. And auction very important. Auctions are conducted on the electronic platform called eCuber, the core banking solution platform of the RB. So RB conducted auction. Okay, and auctions are made in the form of what? Interest rates. Okay, so auction is made on 6%, 6.5%, 8%, 8.5%. So auction is made on what? Interest rates. Okay, the party who demands only less interest will be given first. So that is logic. So that the government's cost will be less. So that will be the nature of auction. Remember, auction is on what? Interest rates. So for the time being, we are not covering those issues. And here we have to go through a dedicated class on government securities and yield on government securities, bonds, etc. to understand the auction method, procedures, etc. For the timing, we are not concentrating on. Just to remember, government securities are issued through auctions conducted by RB, and there is the eCuber platform. Similarly, there is one more platform called negotiated dealing system for dealing with the government securities. Okay, that is another factor. Next is borrowing by states, and here states' dependence on market borrowing has increased significantly over the years, especially since 2017-18. Following the recommendations of the Foreign Finance Commission, okay, it recommended that states should be excluded from borrowing from National Small Saving Fund. Okay, so for National Small Saving Fund, okay, the money obtained from small saving certificate like post office deposit, so such fund should be utilized only by the central government, and it has given the Foreign Finance Commission has given exemption to Delhi, Madhya Pradesh, Kerala and Andhra Pradesh. All other states are not allowed to borrow from where national small saving funds. And since then the market borrowing has increased. We can understand, since the states cannot borrow from NSSF, they are borrowing from market. Which is the market? Market means the entire financial institutions, etc. So that is a market. And the market, there will be banks. Okay, there will be banks, there will be insurance companies, there will be mutual funds, other etc. Even FP, foreign portfolio investors are there. So these groups comprises markets. Individuals also are there, but individuals cannot directly buy government securities. And That means because of unavailability of small saving money, the states are borrowing from the open market by issuing state development loan certificate. Okay, remember. And the share of market borrowing in financing gross fiscal deficit of the states, remember that of the state, we are referring about the state, states, so has increased from 65.8% in 2016-17 to 90.6% in 2018-19. That means the state governments are borrowing mainly from the market. If the state governments are borrowing, they are borrowing from the market by issuing what? State development loans. That means they have to give higher interest rate. R stands for interest. Okay, higher interest rate. Now, for managing the public debt, RBI has certain infrastructure facilities. The RBI operates public debt office to manage the debt of the central government. Okay, and similarly, RBI reviews overall fund position of the government. And there is the operation twist, that we will see soon. The RBI operates public debt office to manage the debt of the central government. That's very important. The public debt office, that is managing the borrowing and or debt of the central government, is with the RBI. Okay, recently there was a demand from the government wing, to shift the public debt office from RBI to the government. Okay, so the government has not implemented that plan yet. And similarly, RBI reviews the overall fund position of the governments, both the central and state government. RBI reviews them, gives advice to them. Okay, and again there is the concept of operation twist. In your recent memory, what the RBI has done, RBI has bought long time government securities. Okay, so when the RBI is buying long time government securities, there will be high demand for government securities. Which type of government securities? Long time government securities. Okay, so as a result, the yield of long time government securities will come down. Yield means you have to substitute yield for rate of interest. So as a result of RBI buying of government securities, the yield of government securities declined. On the other side, RBI has sold short-term government securities, and as a result of this selling of short-term government securities, the interest rate or yield of short-term government securities increased. Okay, so this is the way operation twist was worked. The purpose of RBI was to reduce the cost of long-term government borrowing. Remember, okay, so that was the purpose, to assist the government so that the yield will come down, the rate of interest will come down, the government will be in a comfortable position. That was the purpose of what operation twist. On the one side, it bought long-time government securities. On the other side, it sold short-term government securities. So when the government securities are buying, there will be high demand for long-term government securities. When there is high demand for long-term government securities, so the yield comes down. Okay, the interest rate comes down. There is high demand. Okay, that is the short text explanation. And to get an accurate explanation, we need an extra class. For the time being, we are not concentrating on that side. Operation twist can be understood from a different class. Okay, now we are going to see what are the temporary loan facilities provided by the RBI to the central government. So in the beginning of this class or this session, we saw that the RBI is giving temporary loan facilities to the central government as well as the state government. Now we are going to see what are the temporary facilities provided by the RBI to the central government. How the RBI helps the central government to tide over temporary cash flow mismatches. Here, the government issues treasury bills, and on part of the government, the RBI issues treasury bills owned by the government. Okay, treasury bills are bills of 91, 182, and 364 days maturity, less than 1 year, short time. Okay, remember there are G-Secs. Okay, G-Secs are two types. First is short time treasury bills. Okay, second is long time government bonds. Okay, and bonds, not G, not G. So to tide over cash flow mismatch, I think that you have got the meaning. The expenditure has to be made today. The money or revenue, tax revenue for the government may be coming tomorrow. So the government today need cash, and to give that cash, to get such cash, the RBI will assist by issuing the treasury bill owned by the government. Secondly, RBI will give temporary loans, okay, or the government will be getting temporary loans from the RBI, and these loans are called the ways and means advances. Okay, we have seen these ways and means advances several times in the previous session. Now we are going to see what is the working meaning of ways and means advances. Okay, and similarly, the RBI issues cash management bills of less than 90 days maturity, okay, on behalf of the government. So these are the three ways in which: one, treasury bill; second, remember, ways and means advance; third, cash management. So these are the three ways in which the RBI can fill the cash flow mismatches of the government, or RBI can give liquidity support to the government. Okay, and now we are going to see what is ways and means advances, or WMA. It is very popular, not just for the center but also for the states. WMA is a temporary loan facility for 90 days. That is very important. Provided by the RBI to both the central and state governments. We are seeing about the central government, not about the state government. For the state government also this same story is there. So ways and means advances have a maturity period of how many days? 90 days. So after 90 days, the government has to repay the loan. WMA is provided to the government so that they can meet a temporary mismatch in the receipts and payments. You got the idea, I think? Okay, now the WMA scheme for the central government was introduced on April 1, 1997. Before that, there was a ad hoc treasury bills, that means treasury bills with a maturity period of less than 14 days, like that, that has been phased out. And instead of that, the government introduced what? Ways and means advances. Okay, ad hoc treasury bills means a treasury bill issued for 14 days, 2 weeks, and that system was there for around 45 years. But in 1997, government changed that method and instead adopted a tool called WMA, or ways and means advances. Okay, here the central government will be getting short-term money from the central bank. So WMA is a loan facility from the RBI for 90 days, which implies that government has to vacate the facility after 90 days. The interest rate of WMA currently is repo rate. Okay, remember, repo rate. Loan is for 90 days. Okay, that is there. Don't confuse. Repo rate is the applicable repo rate will be the interest rate for WMA. This 90 days you can cancel. The limits for WMA are mutually decided by the RBI and the government of India. Okay, from the newspapers you may seeing the limit. Sometimes the RBI will be saying that the WMA limit for the central government has been increased, like that news you will be seeing. So you have to understand that WMA for 90 days, interest rate is the repo rate. If the WMA is extended for more than 90 days, what will happen? It will be treated as an overdraft or OD. Okay, so if the WMA is extended for more than 90 days, it will be treated as an overdraft. So overdraft is another lending facility governed by the RBI. When the WMA limit is crossed, the government can avail funds through the overdraft facility. Overdrafts are not allowed beyond 10 consecutive working days, remember. Okay, 10 consecutive working days. The interest rate of OD is repo rate plus 2%, and this can be changed from time to time, and at present it is 2%, repo rate plus 2%, that is interest rate for overdraft, the government loan over the WMA. Now we are coming to the next short-time loan facility for the central government, which is called cash management bills. Okay, cash management bills. So we have seen that the maturity of cash management bill is less than 90 days. Cash management bills are short-time bills with a maturity of less than 90 days issued by central governments, okay, to meet its immediate cash needs. Okay, it is actually owned by the central government, and the bills are issued by the RBI on behalf of the central government. Okay, so the CMBs are short-time money market instruments. It helps the government to tide over immediate liquidity needs. And now we are coming to see what are the temporary loan facilities offered by the RBI to the state governments in its capacity as a banker to the state government. Okay, the state governments can get temporary loans from the RBI from two facilities. The first is the WMA, ways and means advances. We already saw it's working in the case of the central government. So similarly, this facility is also there for the state government as well. And the next one is the overdraft, an extension of WMA. Okay, and here in the case of WMA, the concept is almost the same. Okay, it's a loan for 90 days. In the case of WMA, for the state government, there are two types of WMA. One is called special drawing facility. Previously it was called as special WMA. Okay, there are two types of WMA. This is the first one, this is the second one. Okay, the first one is called a special drawing facility or special WMA, and the second one is known as normal WMA. The interest rate on SDF, special drawing facility, and the WMA will be linked with the repo rate of the RBI. Okay, that is understandable. So remember, WMA in the case of the state government has two wings, two parts. One is special drawing facility and the second one is normal WMA. Okay, and we are coming to the first one, that is called the special drawing facility. The SDF is available before availing WMA. So for the state government, the special drawing facility can be availed when before it is applying for a WMA. SDF is extended against collateral. That is the difference. Okay, so the collateral should be, that means mainly securities, owned by the state government, should be mortgaged with the RBI. Okay, collateral of this government securities held by the state government. So if the state government is holding government securities like bonds, it can mortgage those securities with the RBI under SDF. Okay, the SDF facility is linked to the quantity of investment of the concerned state government in the Government of India securities, including auctioned treasury bill. Remember, including that of the treasury bills, and similarly there will be bonds. So the state governments should own bonds and treasury bills to get money under SDF. Okay, from the RBI. That is a conditionality. What about the interest rate? The interest rate for SDF is 1% less than repo rate. If the repo rate is for 4.15%, the SDF will have an interest rate of 3.15%, 1% less. Another factor that add to the SDF loan limit to the state government is the incremental investment consolidated sinking fund or guarantee redemption fund. So that also is a factor when the state government is borrowing under SDF. That means incremental investment in these two funds. Okay, that also will be considered when the states are applying for SDF. If the state is not finding, so these details are not that much important. That is why we are not explaining it in detail. Okay, so if the state is not finding enough money, it can opt for the normal WMA. Okay, and WMA which has higher rate of interest. Okay, understandably in the case of central government, and the time period is 90 days. We have seen that. So normal WMA, as in the case of the center, the time period is 90 days. After the exhaustion of the special drawing facility, state government is provided by normal WMA. 90 days time period. The amount of loans under normal WMA are based on 3-year average of the actual revenue and capital expenditure of the state government. Remember, so the WMA cannot be extended without any limit. It's based on 3-year average of the actual revenue and capital expenditure of the state government. So there are criteria to determine the limit of WMA loans for the state governments. The rate of interest WMA is equal to repo rate. As in the case of the center, the rate of interest is equal to repo rate. In case WMA outstanding continues to more than 3 months, that is how much? 90 days. 90 days. From the date of such advance, higher interest repo rate plus 1% will be charged. That is another condition. This condition can be changed when states are converting WMA into overdraft. So next is overdraft, as in the case of state government. The second one, the first one is WMA. It has two facility, SDF and the normal WMA, and the second one is overdraft. The withdrawal above the WMA limit is considered as overdraft. State government account can be in overdraft for a maximum period of 14 consecutive working days with a limit of 36 days in a quarter. Remember, so there is limit for overdraft as well. For the examination angle, you have to remember what we can say, the time limit for overdraft, that is maximum 14 days, and rate of interest overdraft is as under overdraft up to 100% of WP limit 2% above the repo rate, overdraft exceeding 100%, 5% above the repo rate. So there is a penal interest rate when the overdraft is very high over the WMA limit. The overdraft continues in the state's account for. If the overdraft continues in the state's account beyond 14 consecutive working days, what will happen? Then the RBI will and its agency will stop payment in respect of the concerned state government. That is important. The overdraft is more than extended for more than 14 days. The RBI will stop all lending facilities to the state government. Okay, so that will be a penal action. State should not draw overdraft over 14 days or 2 weeks. So that is about the RBI's function as a banker to the governments.